So, a day late, but we are finally here to try and beat the 2025 Italian Grand Prix pole position lap set by Max Verstappen. What a performance in qualifying yesterday, and yeah, a bit of Verstappen magic. To be fair, the Red Bull does seem to be pretty quick this weekend and genuinely seems to be on the pace. Monza always has been a track where, at least in qualifying, the differences are pretty close because of, you know, how thin the wings are and things are pretty level. So in that qualifying, Verstappen just managed to beat out the two McLarens and yeah, also set a new track record in the process, quicker than the iconic Mercedes W11 from 2020, which, by the way, I actually did a video literally about a week ago, if not 2 weeks ago, beating that lap myself in the same car. So if you want to see the retro version of this series, guys, where I took on that Hamilton pole lap from 2020 in that same car, go check it out, video on screen, and yeah, the link will be in the top right. In the meantime, let's talk about today's video. Now for this one, we're looking to beat the new track record of 1 minute 18.792, if I'm not mistaken. That is the time from Max. So we're going to try and hopefully beat it today using Deploy's new Red Bull mod for Assetto Corsa, which I can't wait to see how this looks, how this performs, and how this does in general. So here we go. We're going to start out with our first lap of the day. The only thing we don't really have is any slipstream, but from what I could see, Verstappen had none of that also on his lap, so that should be quite good for us. First lap, braking just before the 100-meter board, down to second gear. Easy on the traction on the way out. Need to try and maybe change my gearing down. I think third gear for the first part, second gear, and possibly a short shift to third on the exit. We're just going to hit 8th before the chicane here. Braking at the 100-meter board, down to third. Over the curbs a little bit too much. On the inside curb there on the right as we head into the Lesmos. Not sure what sort of grip to expect. Not bad. Lesmo 2. Also not too bad. Right. On to the back straight. Down towards Ascari. Take a breath. Spot the braking point and just throw the car in. At 100 again. 5th gear. Just send it in over the curbs. Keep it nicely within track limits, and now we prepare the Michele Alboreto curve, formerly known as Parabolica. For this one, barely going to brake, just a little dab of the brakes, let the engine brake do the job for you. And now we just run it up to the line. Let's see, well off the pace right now, as we do a 124.3. So, work to be done. Nearly 6 seconds off. But I think we're going to find quite a bit here, especially with engine mode and low wings. Now the reason I say that is because around this track with this car, if you lower the wings and increase the engine mode, that can be offset by softer compounds. So we're going to still keep the grip in the corners, but we're going to gain straight line speed. So we're going to put the tyres to mediums. I am going to change my gearbox to quick shift, which has a shorter top end range. It's more for, you know, slower tracks, shorter straights, but I want to try this first and see how it performs. If we go and do a lap it's not any good, we can revert. For the fuel, we have 40 litres. We're going to halve that to 20 for the second run, and then we have power unit modes. Mode 2 qualifying is already on, so I'm inclined to leave it as such, which is already basically the highest modes possible. Electronics, we're going to go to balanced on this one. I want a little bit of engine brake for myself, and then advanced features. This is new. Starter sequence, anti-stall, all on. Verstappen's display, and also pitch speed, which is fine. Now for the wing, this is interesting. I am going to put the front down by 2. I'm going to put the rear down by 3 and have a 5 off split, and we'll see how that works. We've got, you know, alternate versions of the car, which isn't relevant right now. Dampers I will leave until we go to softer tyres. I'm also going to put the bias to 53, a little bit further back. We've got brake migration and ramp. Now at the moment I'm happy to leave it at that. We can adjust that if I'm struggling with the braking, the heavy braking zones. Diff, I will lower the mid for now, just to improve mid corner. I get a bit more rotation. Exit I'm happy with. I might even up it a little bit to try and find some more rear traction. And yeah, the real thing I want to change here is suspension. So right high out the front is fairly high. I'll put it back on the rear, but I want to get the front down a little bit. And then I want to get those roll bars softened up front and rear, which will help with rotation, traction. For front end sharpness, I want to up the wheel rate a little bit on the front, and I'll put it down on the rear to 12 to improve rear traction, and the rest we'll leave for now. Also, one thing to note on the aero visuals, now that I've seen them all, one thing I will change is the rear wing end plate, because that is actually a bit more accurate with the kind of rounded tips rather than the kind of more squared off ones. For low downforce circuits, we see a more rounded version of the flatter rear wing. Okay, we're now in the correct engine mode, so here we go. We begin the lap. Delta bar active, so we'll see in real time what we're gaining. The gearbox is already maxing out, so we're going to have to probably revert to the longer gearbox. Getting the old downshift warning there as we go down a bit too quick on the gears. Short shift to third, much better there for traction on the exit. So good start. Gearbox should be okay for this straight and for the next few corners, but we might suffer on the run to Ascari. Into the chicane. Braking a bit later. Trying fourth gear through the chicane. Not sure if that was better or worse. I think I did mess with apex a little bit. Through the Lesmos. Sixth gear. Lesmo 2. Oh, car feels very nervous on the DRS as we head down towards Ascari. We're going to bounce off the limiter again as we send it into here. All over the curbs, aggressive there. Bouncing over all of them as we head towards the final corner. We're going to also use up our battery here already, which is quite interesting. Parabolica. A little bit early on the downshift, but we turn in really well there. We're going to gain on the exit, but we're going to lose to the line because of the battery deployment being exceeded. 122.6 though. That gets us a bit closer, but still a lot of work to be done. So yeah, quickly we're going to get that gearbox reset to general, so a higher top speed. For the tyres, we're going to get those softs on, which is the C5 compound. And now for the fuel, again, we're going to probably trim that in half again, so that will help us a little bit. We're going to try, I say try, I'm going to go high on engine, but I might have to run low through the middle sector to basically make it in terms of deployment at the end of the lap. So bear that in mind. With that out of the way, I am going to go down the wing. We'll go 5 and 0. That felt pretty good in terms of balance, but I want to try and go lower, hit more top speed. And yeah, other than that, I want to push the camber a little bit. I feel like we are okay for tyre temp, so we can push these a bit more and be a bit more aggressive. Bias felt pretty decent. I'm going to try 52 and see if we start rear locking. If not, we'll run with it. And yeah, other than that, I just want to put that front rider height down, and also I'm going to put the rear on minimum. Seems to be fine. Also rear roll bar down a bit more, also the front, and we'll give this one a crack. Now, one thing I learned from my retro pole lap video where I tried to beat Hamilton's time, I actually end up turning on the battery a bit later out of this last corner to try and manage. So we're going to leave it in low, and I'll put it into high. Now, as we head over the line, we also open DRS as we begin this lap. So down towards turn 1. Let's try and get our braking sorted. Nowhere near the limiter, so we gained this time. Oh, bit of a slide, but that was okay. Car feels super heavy and sluggish though with this mod through the chicane, which probably is accurate of the real thing. The cars are absolute monsters nowadays. Right, we're going to go down to low on the battery as we head into the middle sector to try and manage our battery a bit better. That was a really nice chicane. And now we head into the heart of sector 2. Going to take a little downshift, of course, with this longer gearbox under 5th through the Lesmo and down to 4th gear actually through Lesmo 2. Now back onto the battery as we head towards Ascari. Again, the longer gearbox should help us here a little bit. Going to try. Actually, I was going to go 6th, but I remembered we've got the different gearbox, so 5th gear it is. We find some more time. Looks like we're going to probably just run out of battery at the end of this straight as we head into Parabolica. Down to 5th with this gearbox. Got a little bit of juice left, so we're going to take a shorter line, carry some acceleration to the start finish, and it's going to give us a 121 dead. So that gets us a bit more in the ballpark. So we're going to go back to the drawing board and basically draw up our game-winning play and see how close we really get. Now for this one, I'm going to play my ace cards. I'm not going to make too much change on the setup. All I'm going to do is put in a minimum fuel, which is enough for an out lap, a timed lap, and an in lap. So in this case, 6 litres. Electronics are already set to high. We don't have, to my knowledge, any MGUH motor mode. We're already in quali for the PU mode, so we can't do much with that. So yeah, at the moment, I think we are basically going to manually override the battery. By manually overriding, I can manage it better and have battery all the way to the line. So all I want to do is add a dab of front wing, and yeah, I need to drive this lap a bit more on the limit. I want to put a bit of camber on the right side because the right side doesn't work as much. So we're going to run an asymmetrical setting, and then really all I want to do is take a little bit of diff off again just to try and help with mid-corner rotation. And yeah, we're going to give this one a shot and try and send it. Right, here we go. Let's get to it then. A little bit of battery as we head up to the line. And now I'll manually override it myself to try and gain a bit more of a boost and a bit more of an edge as we head towards turn 1. Here we go. A little bit of rear locking there. I'm going to try and take it in second gear to see if that helps with traction. Not bad, not bad. Still burning, still overriding. I've got it set to low, but because I'm overriding, it's in maximum mode. Into the chicane we go. Still can't decide what gear's best through there. Into the Lesmos. That was nice, that was committed in 5th gear, that felt really good. And now, back on the juice, back on the battery. Down towards Ascari. Let's try and send it through here. 6th gear, full send into Ascari. Using battery on the way out. And now we just have to try and nail this parabolica. Hopefully we have some battery remains for the brunt of the line. Still can't decide what gear is best through there. Battery to the line. Come on. Right. 1:19.7. So we're just under a second. So now is when things get intricate and we start trying to find time. I'm going to start messing with the setup and trying to see how close we can really get. Ooh. Bit of rear locking, not ideal. And then oversteer on the exit somehow. That's only a 10th down, so I'll take some encouragement from that. And so it begins. Poof. Same mistake twice, not ideal. There is a bit of time though in that exit for sure. I reckon it's a couple of tenths if I can sort my line out. Also same for this chicane here. I think if I can get a bit of a better line, I can probably have a better exit and gain some time. Avoiding that inside curve there on the right. That's where the time is. Okay, yeah, there's definitely some more time in this. Definitely. Let's try and work to get this down a bit. Setup feels great. I'm not even going to change anything until I get this time dialed in. So let's get to work. Oh, got a little bit loose. Out of shape through there. Excellent through there. Really good commitment through Ascari. Wide. Front left is giving out. Gonna lose some time through there, but generally it's better. It's an improvement. Good stuff. Yeah. The time's there. That chicane, I reckon it's a couple of tenths. Also this Lesmo right here wasn't too great. Even the first chicane. I don't know if we're going to beat Max's time, but I feel like an 18 is doable. An 18 if I really get a perfect lap. Oh. Yeah, that's going to be tricky to improve. The second half of the lap is really good. I mean, Parabolica is a little bit also poor, but the Ascari from before that we did was so good. So we've got to try and find time elsewhere to then hopefully match our Ascari, because I don't think I can improve upon it. Ah, damn it. Not a bad second. Let's over the first one let me down so much. That was a really good first 5 corners of the lap. And I lost everything for Ascari. Tried 5th gear, and that completely backfired. So yeah, not ideal. Right, well, a little bit of time there, Parabolica, you could say. But there's way more time in that lap. Still a bit closer. Small improvement. My headset's running out of battery. I do hope we can get the lap before my headset runs out. I have to charge. That might be GG. Oh, that was horrific. Absolutely terrible there. In and out. Yeah, that was... Oh my god. That was looking really good. That was really looking good. Like a great lap. Made a tweak on the bias and it's worked really well. And also brake migration. So I think it's possible. It might just be possible. Just run out of battery there, but that was a really good lap. That could be a contender for my best lap. That was pretty much spot on. At this point now, we'd be digging for time that I don't know exists, because I've sort of corrected my major mistakes. We could refine a few things, but we still need 3/10, which is feels like quite a lot around here. And qualifying and the qualifying gaps would kind of confirm that also. Ooh, bit too much there, overdoing it. Ooh, that's a slippy bit of white paint, not ideal. Oh no! That was a perfect lap. That was perfect, pretty much. I lost a little bit in the Lesmos. There was 2/10, and that's more or less what I figured there might be in the first part of the lap, but I just don't see another 10th in Ascari and Parabolica. A little bit more there. Bit better battery to the line. That lap felt really good. It was really clean. We completely sent it everywhere, but it didn't have those 2/10 we were just on just now. But I just, you know when you feel like, I don't know if I'm going to ever do that again. That felt really special, what I was doing on that lap before, until I messed it up. Just a little bit of slip on direction change. I can't... I'm getting frustrated. I don't think I can beat that lap now. Like, I think I can beat that lap, but I know I can't beat Max's time. I think at this point, if I get a 118, that might be my end goal at this stage. I think that would be... I'd be happy with that. 19-0. I don't know what to do. It's frustrating knowing that I've gone 2/10 quicker in the first 2 sectors, pretty much. But I just can't do it. I can't replicate it. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I went so quick on that lap. I just can't recreate it. I can't even do that chicane now. I think that was a corner cut anyways. I'm thinking I'm going to fall back on that 19.0. I'm getting desperate now. I don't have an answer. I give up. I'm officially done. I'm sick and tired of doing out laps. Yeah, I don't have an answer. Would always wonder what could have been with that one lap that got away. I, might leave it in full for you guys to watch, but I'm still happy with the 19.0. That would have got us right up there in qualifying IRL, I believe. So you guys can tell me what you think of that one. But yeah, I was happy with the lap. It was pretty clean. So yeah, I'll leave it there. But that was a real tough effort. But by the way, I love when these episodes are super close. Like, genuinely, it's awesome. A little bit more there. Right, my headset has run out of battery, so that will be that. As we delve into the setup, gear set is general for this one, so hitting a 350 top speed approx. Tyres on softs, fuel, 6 laps with the maximum power unit and engine map modes. Electronics were low actually for the entire lap, and I was basically manually deploying basically everywhere except for in the corners and sector 2. When I mean sector 2, I mean basically exit out of the 4-5 chicane, out of the first Lesmo, just leaving it in low. Engine brake 911, yeah, advanced features, nothing too relevant. Front wing 8.0, but the best lap, the 19.0, was actually done with 7.0. So I think that's probably the best setting for front wing. Aero visuals, as you saw, the rear wing end plate on 1, and then yeah, alignment. Feel free to copy this part of the video, guys. It's quite technical. I'm not going to go into detail, but basically just copy the alignment. Brakes 54 with a migration of 1. Also dampers, go ahead and copy those. I basically just up the bump and the rebound front and rear. Diff also made some small tweaks. Heave dampers, also bump and rear, or bump and rebound, sorry. And then suspensions, also copy those. But yeah, pretty much I tried everything. Small tweaks, big tweaks, and in the end, yeah, a 0.0 is the best I could do. But guys, now it's your turn. Give that a go and let me know what you do. The mod is excellent by Deploy, absolutely awesome, love the mod, and hopefully Max does get a few more polls so we can use this one again. In the meantime, I'll leave the car linked down below. Also the track mods to make the sponsors, of course, be accurate to 2025. The track itself is actually default in the game, so in Assetto Corsa, Monza is part of the stock package, so no need for a mod. But yeah, all my other mods used in this will be linked down below. So guys, cheers for watching. As always, a massive shout out to my channel members. Check out the 2 videos on screen for more videos like this. I'll see you guys soon. In the meantime, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Grazie. Ciao, ciao.